When you're living with a disability, the hardest battle isn't always the one you fight with your own body. Sometimes the real fight is with the people who love you most, the ones who refuse to see you for who you truly are now. This is a story from Reddit about a 17-year-old girl, and it's a powerful reminder of that struggle. 2 years ago, her life changed forever. A severe back injury left her with permanent spinal cord damage. After 3 surgeries, her doctors all came to the same conclusion. The nerve damage wasn't going to heal. She can still stand, and she can walk for short distances. But every single step is a marathon of pain, like walking on fire. The medical goal shifted from finding a cure to simply preserving the mobility she has left for as long as possible. But her mother? She just couldn't accept it. For her, permanent wasn't an option. For 2 long years, she pushed her daughter into a relentless series of experimental treatments, questionable holistic cures, and grueling exercise routines. It didn't matter if her daughter said no, or if she was exhausted and in pain. Her mother was on a mission to fix her. Inside their home, using a cane was forbidden. A wheelchair was completely out of the question, even though the girl had to borrow one from her grandparents just to get around when she visited them. Whenever the pain became too much, her mother's response was always the same. Stop making excuses. She'd point to elite athletes, saying, "Paralympic athletes can do it, so can you." But what her mother refused to see is that this isn't a matter of willpower or effort. It's about biology. It's about nerve damage and the physical limitations of a body that has been through immense trauma. It's about accepting that some wounds don't heal. They simply become a part of who you are. And learning to live with that new reality is a strength all on its own. The situation finally reached a heart-wrenching breaking point. The girl had just gone through a major hip surgery. She was on strict bed rest, with a long line of staples holding her hip together. The pain was deep, radiating all the way to the bone. At the same time, her mother was recovering from a minor procedure of her own. One day, her mother demanded that she remove her stitches for her. The stitches weren't ready to come out, and worse, the girl couldn't even kneel to do it, without risking tearing her own surgical wound wide open. When she tried to explain, her mother wouldn't listen. Frustrated and angry, her mother grabbed a pair of nail clippers and ripped the stitches out herself. It was a mess. Blood was everywhere, and torn threads were still left embedded in the skin. Then, she turned to her daughter, who was watching in horror, and said, "Fix this. It's the least you can do after I gave birth to you." So she did. She forced her body to kneel, ignoring the searing pain in her own hip. As she cleaned her mother's wound and carefully pulled out the remaining threads, her own incision started to bleed again from the strain. And in that agonizing moment, something inside her finally snapped. She yelled, she sobbed. She let out 2 years of pent-up frustration and desperation, begging her mother to just stop. To stop trying to fix her. "I'm not who I was before the accident," she cried, "and that's okay. But you have to let me be okay with it too." Her mother didn't get it. She saw it as weakness, as more excuses, as a lack of fighting spirit. But what the girl was asking for wasn't a miracle cure. It was something much more fundamental. Acceptance. The right to rest when her body is screaming in pain. The freedom to use a cane or a walker without being shamed for it. The space to speak to her own doctor without her mother constantly interrupting, dismissing her pain as dramatic. For 2 years, her own truth had been silenced. Not because she was broken, but because her reality didn't fit into her mother's vision of hope. And that's the cruelest kind of denial. When someone loves you so much, they refuse to see you at all. But this is where the story takes a turn. Feeling lost, the girl shared her experience on Reddit. The response was overwhelming. Thousands of comments poured in, validating her feelings and putting a name to her mother's behavior. Medical gaslighting, emotional abuse. Armed with this validation from strangers, she took a brave step. She showed her mother the post and the comments, And for the first time, something shifted. Reading the unfiltered opinions of thousands of people seemed to break through the wall of denial. Her mother, perhaps finally seeing her actions from an outside perspective, agreed to go to family therapy. She started allowing the cane and walker in the house. And most importantly, the girl is scheduled to speak with her doctor alone for the first time, to finally get her full, unfiltered diagnosis properly documented. This story isn't just about a bad mom. It's a complex and painful story about grief, denial, and internalized ableism. It's about the slow, difficult journey toward acceptance, for both a daughter and a mother. To anyone watching who has ever been told you not trying hard enough, or that your pain is all in your head, please hear this. Your pain is real, your limits are valid, and you do not owe anyone a version of yourself that no longer exists. You are enough, exactly as you are. Now, I want to turn it over to you. Have you ever had to fight to be believed about your own body? What gave you the strength to keep advocating for yourself? Share your experiences in the comments below. And please, be kind to one another. You never know when your words might be the lifeline someone else desperately needs. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell. We share true, powerful stories from Reddit every single day. You'll always find real, raw, and sometimes healing confessions from people just like you. Until next time, honor your truth, protect your peace, and never ever apologize for needing what your body requires. This is Reddit Rundown.